This is the opener.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's gonna be all right. No! No!
Hello and welcome to the Worst Movie Ever Made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Hoffman. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci, and Bob Hassick. Hey guys, how are you, and why are we doing the number 23?
Because it is 8:41 p.m. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. We normally finish this at 10 p.m. Central Time. 13 plus 10 is 23. Bob, do you care to describe this movie?
Not particularly, but I'm ready for it.
All right.
Let's get a little groovy and have Bob explain the movie. So for your consideration, here's Bob's alliteration.
Okay, the alliteration for this movie is
Yeah.
cinematic crap, cognizant of confused computation of cardinals.
Wow.
Nice.
Bob. They get
Cardinals
better and
being
better,
cardinal
really.
numbers.
Yeah.
So the story is, and I'm going to do my best, although it's not much of a story, humorless and banal dog catcher married to a beautiful bakery owner gets a book about the number 23, and we're to believe that he becomes obsessed with the number 23 and sees its connection to everything in his world and obsessed with learning how this book's narrative is a reflection of an actual past crime, maybe. And ultimately, the number, I mean, not to be a spoiler, but ultimately the number has little to do with anything in the story. And this movie is as dumb as its premise.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Honestly, Bob, hit the nail on the head. Let's see what the YouTube audience thinks of this. I'm actually really curious this week.
Oh, this is a fucking goldmine. The Worst Movie Ever Made presents YouTube comments made by people who clearly have daddy issues. So I have a new strategy. Now, for a while now, I've been going to the paid version on YouTube because people are throwing down money to watch it, which means they're financially invested. I've now been sorting by most recent. So I have a spread of comments from as recently as 2 months ago to even more recently, like 7 days ago. These are people that have recently paid for this
to
movie.
watch this movie.
And here's what they have to say. Number one, this movie is so fucking stupid. Haha. He's seeing a number everywhere, so randomly decides to check out of his house and into a random sketchy dump hotel. All right, this one's really good. Someone really thought this one out. This movie time runs at 1:38:03. It adds up to 23 like the Easter eggs, and here is crazy. 1 plus 3 equals 4. 4 plus 8 equals 12. Then if you just leave the 1 and multiply it with a 2 and leave the 3, it would be 23. Or if you 1 plus 3 equals 4, then 4 minus 8 equals -2, and leave the 3, it would be -23. Still 23 more or less. LOL. Sorry, I had to comment this to get heads spinning. Next comment. It's funny how I'm watching this the last day of 2023. Laughing emoji. My battery percentage is at 79 and the last 2 digits of time is 56. Subtract. This is not a trailer. Lame. So someone paid. Someone
Paid for
entered
a
their
trailer?
payment information thinking they're paying for a trailer, and they end up watching an entire Jim Carrey movie. All right,
At what moment in the movie do you think they realized it wasn't a trailer? Like 33 minutes
in. Like, wait a minute. 6 months ago, great movie, 10 out of 10. And then here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comments, all from one person 2 months ago, addressed to no one in particular. Here we go.
Oh shit, that's me. My bad.
Dogs are commonly connected to psychopaths. Next comment. People who look for power in numbers are heading nowhere. Next comment. Jim Carrey has come a long way since Dirty Harry. Next comment. There is significance to certain numbers like check out 1979. You'll find a lot of things with that date. And there are a lot of numbers that have a lot of meaning. Next comment. I never said I wrote this book. And mind you, this one person's speaking to nobody.
Right.
He's just saying that.
Maybe this movie drove him crazy.
Yes.
And he's in a hotel room somewhere, a dilapidated hotel room where he's scribbling on walls and occasionally hopping onto YouTube to scribble there.
Yeah. Either that or he was arguing with somebody who since deleted their comments and it just sounds like he's an idiot. I haven't decided.
Oh man, that's a pro move, just deleting your comments so the other person looks like a moron.
All the time. I always make a polarizing comment, and then like you see the paragraphs rolling, I just delete the parent comment, and they all wasted that much time for nothing. It's my favorite power move.
It's a nice move. Speaking of moving, let's move it to test number 1, the worst of its kind.
Yeah.
Salami.
The worst of its kind.
1408 with John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson, and 80. If you take 14 and you add 8, you get 22. And if you take the
It's
80
one
and
movie.
divide it by...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only one, but you add one movie. Yeah. Holy shit. Just figured it out. Now we can think about another thing that adds up to 23 and obsess over that in a minute. Dumb and Dumber with Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey. Again, Carrey, because he's in this movie, is 68. I think that it warrants a higher score than a 68. That movie is fucking great.
I've noticed niche comedies and action movies, if they're over 65%, it's a good movie. They're never critical darlings, but they're always fan favorites. It's
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher, a 34, deserving. Not a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Identity, Ray Liotta and Amanda Peet, is 63.
Yeah.
That one's okay. I actually like the premise. It's a little ham-fisted or earthworm-fisted or whatever, have you. Phone Booth with Colin Farrell and Kiefer Sutherland, a 72. So
Okay.
the average here, a 63.4. What do you think the number 23 had on Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm just going to, you know what? I'm going to say I got a 23.
So you said 63.4. I'll say 3.4.
Well, Bob is closer. It got a 7.
Oh, Jesus. I was being... Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And deserving. And it's negative 56.4, worst of its kind, not surprisingly. We'll see how that stacks up against our current season champion later. For now, we'll throw it to test number 2. Ain't that a pitch?
Excuse me, madame. May I have a little kiss, please? A little kiss, please. Come on. Come on. Whoop.
Ain't that a pitch?
All right.
Who goes first?
I went first last week.
I'll go first.
All right, you go. You go. How about Chris Bob Rob? That work? Or Chris Rob
Chris
Bob?
Bob Rob.
Sure.
Chris Bob Rob.
Sure.
All right.
Chris Bob Rob. A movie littered with scary stats, not one deserving of any congrats. The premise is stupid, with logic excluded, but most hilarious are Jim Carrey's tribal tats.
Oh, we'll be talking about that. Yeah.
Oh, man. I
That's
totally just
solid.
like didn't mention that at all in my catch-all. Okay.
Yeah.
I had to mention the tribal tats. It's amazing. And they're obviously fake. Or they were done that morning. Every morning he's banging that girl.
It's a good call. Okay. There once was a Jim Carrey vehicle. While reviewing it, we'll try to be civil. Dumb digits drove me to drink. Damn dog's disdain was distinct. The studio prioritized profits, quite parasitical.
Wow.
All right.
You are a wordsmith. I thought you were a math teacher.
Computer science.
Computer science.
Okay.
That's right. And all the time you're talking about what you're teaching the kids on the computer too. As you're like the Chandler of the podcast, long may he reign. Because I, for some reason, don't know what you do, even though you've told me 7 times already. So I'm sorry. Anyway, Rob, let's start with you.
6 times 4 minus 1 is 23. So is 30 minus 7 if you like adding and subtracting with glee. Jim Carrey is bad at this, sliding beads on the abacus. So much silly math, but what does it mean?
Rob.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to go Rob. 4.
What, 4? Okay, I agree.
All right.
I'm not going a 5 because... Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to go Rob 5, and that'll make it, 4 plus 4 plus 5. That's 8 plus 5 is 13 divided by 3. I got 23.
It's 23. Okay. A 20. Rob got a 23. Okay, I'll jot that down. Excellent work, Rob. Highest score we've had so far. This is test number 3,
yeah.
most offensive.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
All of you got the most important thing.
To be as offensive as possible.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Okay, so here we review all the in poor taste moments of the movie, of which this had a few. None too bad, in my opinion, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see. Starting with number 5, this one is reading Raunch with your Rugrat. So here's... So his son, who's like 15 years old, right? He's like banging a girl, and dad's okay with it, to an extent.
Kids are
Anyway,
kids, man. You know?
Yeah, you know. He comes into the kitchen while Jim Carrey's character Walter is reading his book, and I don't remember how is there like a picture in the book? I don't remember, but the son is like, "Who's that?" And then Walter goes, "Fabricia," and then it goes into a sex scene. And unless the son was completely disinterested by Fabricia or whatever her name is, they're reading it together, and it's a lurid sex scene indeed.
Wouldn't it be funny if it cut from the narrative scene to like just Jim Carrey sitting cross-legged on the kitchen counter, just like thumbing through the pages and reading aloud to his son? Like licking his thumb and turning the page. Yeah.
And then she mounted me, and I wasn't sure what to do. All right, number 4, crazy counting clogs, cross trainers, cleats, and cowboy boots.
Clogs, cross trainers,
cleats, and cowboy boots. I'm not sure how many pairs of cleats were in the collection, but not only does Fingerling count the shoes, but so does Jim Carrey's character. Gets up in the middle of the night and just opens his wife's closet because he needs to know how many pairs of shoes she has. And wouldn't you know it, he's not going to tell you how many were in there because you already know.
Is this a Tarantino movie?
Right.
Yeah. Number 3, this is our first clip of the day. This is odd smelling smoke.
Maybe you'd like to hear a story. Yeah. Once upon a time, there was a dog who lived a life of terror. Feared no one. But although his teeth were sharp and his belly full, his heart was empty. He decided to go on a journey to a land far, far away. We came upon a wooden shack one day with a thin old man inside, and he invited him in. The dog was overjoyed, and that night, warm smoke billowed from the chimney above. But oh, what odd smelling smoke this was. You see, the land was China, and in China, they eat dog.
What the fuck?
Why the shot at the Chinese in the middle of this movie? I did a little research. I don't know about you guys, but they do.
Nope.
They do eat dog in China. I wanted to dispel the myth that they do eat dog in China.
But like, it
is rare.
It's not domesticated dog either. It's not like they're like, it's just like they find them in the wild, right?
I hope so.
I mean, I'm basing that on nothing but conjecture.
But really, what's the difference? Right. Like, what's the difference between a farmer raising a chicken and like petting it every day and then cutting his head off one day and eating it? It's nothing. Just we've assigned a special meaning to a dog. I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. Okay?
It's a source of protein. At the end of the day, we're all just sources of protein.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I was just
weirded out by the story being told to a dog. I put that in my catch-all. I'll take it out.
Yeah, well, that's the next element. And I guess it was a calming tactic until he was able to get the thing around the dog's neck, and then he offers up his arm as a snack and gets pissed at him. I thought he was going to shoot him with like a shotgun, but it turned out later to be a tranquilizer dart, so I took that out of my catch-all. He was just going to I thought he was going to blow a tombstone to bits trying to kill the dog. But also, it is rare that the Chinese eat dogs. There is a festival every year, though, where they consume like a shit ton of dog.
It's called the Festival of Eating a Fuck Ton of Dog. I'm so tired of these
Can you put that in the write-up?
The Festival of Eating a Fuck Ton of Yes.
But anyway, you're not gonna, if you visit China and you are walking a street, you're not gonna find dog meat. That's what they want you to believe in this movie. I found that offensive. Anyway, number 2, relocating remains for your reprobate romancer.
Yeah.
So I don't know why a wife would agree to move a body for a husband. Number 1, if your husband's a murderer, maybe you should consider a different husband. But I especially don't understand why your husband's I think it's her friend. I forget her name. I think it's her friend. Her therapist friend is also concerned about the remains and the finding of the remains and helps her remove the body. In what fucking universe is some therapist who's wanting to bang this guy's wife going to help him to, by moving the body out of the way? That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
If you find out your husband killed somebody, that's the end of it. I think in 99% of cases, maybe 1 out of 100 people are going to move skeletal remains for them, but they're not going to find a therapist to help them.
I can only think of if somebody murdered your child and the courts didn't see it in your favor, like a little vigilante justice cover up. I could see that.
Maybe. Yeah.
But that's not what this is. He was a jilted lover who stabbed someone to death. So it doesn't really fit the criteria. Yeah.
And that brings up the point. Bob, you said that he's banal. I thought that they would have more comedic, moments for Jim Carrey to make you like him more in this movie, but really the comedy is just super flat, and they don't even have him doing any physical bits or anything. He's just really a fucking bummer, and you hate him. And I don't care that he's in prison. I don't care about any aspect of the story whatsoever.
Nope.
And that brings me to number 1. Burn the book, bitch. What fucking, why would you ever, if you know that's your husband's book, why lure him into it? She found the book and started reading it, right?
Yeah.
The book that she knows he wrote.
Yeah, she knew beforehand, right?
Yes.
It's not like she stumbled across it and then all of a sudden it's like she was familiar with it before walking into that store.
Did she just lead such a boring suburban life that she needed to reawaken the psychotic nonsense going on in her husband's mind to liven up the relationship again? Please hold a knife to my throat.
She didn't know before she bought the book for him, did she?
She did, I think, right at the end.
It certainly seemed so.
I thought that she helped explain that he wrote it at the end when they're in the kitchen and he's like, "What's the knife about?" And she's like, "It's for
That's only because his name was behind the top secret's name.
Yeah, maybe.
Even if that's true, Bob, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. She does encourage him to. She knows that he has a past of some kind, right? They met outside of the fucking psychiatric hospital that he just walked out of when he bumps into her. And she's like, I don't think this obsession is too unhealthy. Keep reading. I want you to keep reading. Every day, Jim Carrey. Every day. Read a book. It's like forcing it down his throat to the point where you're wondering what her motives are. And I found that extremely offensive.
I can't imagine if I was walking past a psychiatric hospital and someone bumped into me that I would immediately think they were coming out of the hospital.
I would.
All right, fine.
I don't even care where it's from. If I had a cake and someone knocked it onto the ground, I would they're on my shit list for the rest of my life.
Especially
regardless
if you
where
took
they're
like
coming from.
3 hours to bake it and frost it and everything.
Yeah,
But Bob, how does that conversation go? Oh, what were you doing there? Visiting
remember.
my cousin. Yeah, exactly. I don't
Oh.
remember.
What's your name? God.
Let's hang
I was
out.
in there scribbling on the walls the number 23 over and over again for 7 years.
And cutting
Well,
my palm with
it's
a
nice to
large
meet
piece
you.
of glass. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I've got. You guys want to mention anything else that you found offensive in this movie?
Nah,
I
I got
did.
mostly catch all. Go ahead, Bob.
Okay.
When he's walking through the Chinese restaurant, the guy's muttering to him in Chinese, and he says, "Sounds delicious. Can I get it to go?"
Oh my God.
As if everything a Chinese man is telling him has to do with Chinese food.
All right.
I think that was offensive.
Who wrote this?
That is offensive. What do you think he was cooking? Little canine?
I think whoever wrote this movie once got pee-pee in their Coke, and then they had to, you know the rhyme. Anywho.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, let's throw it to Rob's ad read.
Sure.
Go down to Marie Callender's. Get me a big bowl. Pie, some ice cream on it. Good. Put some on your head. Your tongue would slap your brains out trying to get to it. Interested? Sure.
Rob's ad read.
So this is actually a branded tie-in that our producer sent us. You know how E.T.'s got Reese's Puffs, Reese's Pieces, and Stranger Things has Eggo waffles.
Yeah.
Well, apparently there's a snack brand called Popsy-Cret. They sell buttered corn that you microwave, and they sent us this promo just to plug their product and see how it tracks.
What is it about Popsy-Cret?
How come that rich buttery aroma seems to grant a little
Birthday's
too
on
far?
June 7th. June is the 6th month of the year. Plus
Kill your
family and hide the
And why you
evidence.
pop up every
Last
big
night,
fluffy
they
bag
had
full.
you gotta
People
kill your
pop up
family.
too.
Hide the evidence. 7
Top secret
popcorn.
popcorn, so irresistible you can't keep it a secret.
Popcorn
It'll
has
make
6
things
letters.
interesting.
3 bags of popcorn. 6 times 3 is 18. I could do 5 push-ups on a good day. 18 plus 5 is 23. There's no such thing as destiny. There are only different choices. Some choices are easy. Some aren't. Those are the really important ones.
Stop waiting for the microwave to ding and just murder your family already.
Was that a quote from the movie?
Yeah.
Those are the really important ones.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that pop secret. We will get into other pop secret. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So that's with 2 T's
Yes, I think.
and a K.
Yes.
Pop secrets.
Yeah.
Pop secret. Okay. Anyway, test number 4: the worst dialogue.
Bad dialogue may include something like,
He's in there every night. His damn gang selling the stupid cocaine.
God, it's so hard not to say it along with him every single way.
Yeah.
Okay. Number
5.
This is egg.
Your maiden name is Pink.
Do you know what pink is?
Red and white. 92 divided by 4.
Someday I'm gonna write a book and I'll do it to somebody else. Walter.
Oh, God.
Whoever wrote it knows you very well, and only they can give you your answers.
You wrote it. Isaac knew all along, didn't he?
Walter, just let it be. Please.
You're top secrets.
He may not even be a man. Don't make me do this.
Why, Egg? Why'd you do this?
Living!
Walter.
I think he says why ag, but it sounds like egg. Why egg?
Yeah. I think you're right. My favorite part of that is red and white 92 divided by 4. Which is that if you add up the
Like the Sherwin-Williams
total-
swatches, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was confused
Yeah.
about. Like, which company is it? Are they the same? If it is a Sherwin-Williams, do they have just a regular pink, or isn't there 40 different shades? Do they have one in the middle that's pink and it's 92?
I guess.
And then you divide it by white 4? Wait, it's red. It's red divided by white or something. I don't know. It's fucking stupid. But the wife, Egg, says, just let it be, which is dialogue you would never use unless you're the guilty party, which is why they put that there, because they want us to think in that moment that she's the one who wrote the book, even though if you have the IQ of a pepperoni pizza, you know who the author of the book is. So I don't really understand why they're forcing it. And then she says, don't make me do this. Do what?
Tell him
what is this
that she apparently knew the whole time. That's
Bob. That's what I'm saying
here, because like it sounds like she knows something.
This dialogue is completely incorrect for what ends up playing out, in my opinion. Am I wrong, Bob? Can you weigh in on this for us?
I mean, dialogue is clunky, but I still don't think that the writer wanted us to think that she knew anything before she actually found the book with his name in it. I'm convinced of that.
Which wasn't it her son that found the P.O. box?
Yeah, he found the P.O. box, but she went into the asylum, I guess, and found the locker with his book in it.
Huh.
Like the original draft?
The original draft, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I was so bored at that point, I think I just tuned out.
Yeah.
That was probably around an hour and 23 minutes or something. Speaking of which, number
4 yard.
It's all 23.
What are these shoes doing in the trash?
Did you know you had 23 pair?
Sounds like Zoolander.
You're insane!
The Hiroshima bomb was dropped at 8:15. 8 plus 15 is 23. Waco, Texas, and the Oklahoma City bombing both happened on April 19th. 4 plus 19 is 23. Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees north. Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south. 10886 is the number Al Capone wore in his uniform in prison. Ted Bundy was executed on the 23rd of January. It's all 23.
Okay, so I was just like thinking of awful things that happened in history so I could just prove this wrong real quick.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I thought of was September 11th, 2001. 9 and 11 is 20. 2, 0, 0, 1 is 3. So 20 and 3 is 23. So it actually works for 9/11. Fuck. Maybe I'm going to go insane now. But yeah, my point was going to be there are horrible things that happen in history every day of the year, and they don't add up to 23. You can find as many, if not many, many, many more things that didn't happen on a date that coincides with 23.
It's just
fucking hate it. It's just
it's
combing
the power
through.
Of suggestion. Whatever your subconscious is tuned into looking for, you're going to make the connection because we are logical beings and we cannot accept a lack of logic behind the things we experience. So
it's
the marketing thing where it's like if you're thinking of buying a new car, you're going to see more car billboards. If you're thinking about changing razors, you're going to see more Gillette things like on the TV and hear it on the radio because you're listening for it.
If you get home and think about what lights you hit, you always think that you hit all the red lights because every person is negative because life is depressing and we all want to die. You know?
Yeah, but you know what? It really sucks when you're trying to like just show up right on time and not early, and then you get every green light. That's even worse.
Oh fuck! I gotta work for an extra 4 minutes today.
Yeah, you just sit in the car and disassociate, just like staring at your steering wheel in your idling car.
Yeah. This is number
3.
The book.
Take a look at that. Yeah, try not to throw up. Nasty, evil dog. That's what Ned stands for. If I ever see him again, he's going to be Ned with 2 Ds. Nasty, evil, dead dog.
All right, now take a deep breath.
Dead Ned. That's what he's going to be.
And remember, it's your birthday, okay?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it we don't see your friends on my birthday?
Probably because you don't have any.
Oh,
shit.
Makes sense. So I'm older, I'm disfigured, and I'm spending an evening in hell.
No.
I suppose I'm buying that for you, too.
Well, actually, I've had a good long time to flip through it. Why don't you give it a try?
Have some writer fill my head with nonsense? I'll wait for the movie.
You don't know what you're missing.
And yet, life goes on. Number 23. Novel of Obsession by Topsy Kretz.
I've had a good long time to flip through it, suggesting that she's known this book before. No.
I don't know, Bob.
I don't know.
We're building quite a case against you here.
Against me. Okay.
Yeah.
You side with this movie. Go for it.
I think we're building a case against the writers.
We are.
They probably like 3/4 of the way through the production had that plot where she was the killer, and then they're like, oh, that's not going to work. And then they like had a test screening or something. And we're like, all right, let's just forget everything we filmed and just kind of gloss over it. I don't know.
Speaking of glossing over, let's not gloss over Nasty Evil Dead Dog.
Yeah.
How bad was that? Ned with
Pretty
2
bad.
Ds, Nasty Evil Dead Dog. Also, he has no friends. That's the joke, right? The joke is that he's been in the insane asylum for most of his life, and it's really funny that he doesn't have any friends as a result. Is that what we're supposed to laugh about now in retrospect?
Yeah, I think so.
Woo! Okay. Number... This is God?
23 is very good at this particular game.
Game?
Yeah. Paranoia. There's a fair bit of literature on the 23 Enigma.
There is.
There are 23 axioms to Euclid's geometry. The human body consists of 46 chromosomes, 23 from each parent. Blood takes 23 seconds to circulate. The Mayans believed the end of the world would occur December 12, 2012. 20 plus 12 is?
23 reversed. Or 20 plus 1 plus 2. So what is this? What is 23?
Easy.
God?
2 divided by
God.
3. Point 666. 666. Number of the devil. There are only 22 chapters in the book of Revelations. We all know how that ends.
Why? Half of those are just complete bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
This whole movie is like that.
It's just so fucking bad. All right, let's throw it to number...
One, Daddy.
You know what? Fuck it. Think Chris Reese?
You
guys-
shoot.
This is Suicide Blonde.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
I got a tip from your neighborhood watch.
I know what you're up to. This befriend me crap, it won't work. Come any closer and I'll do it.
Well, if you don't, it's my birthday today. You end up hanging yourself, it'll be the worst one ever.
Pathetic. I'm serious, I'll do it.
Hanging. It's a painful thing. Most people get the noose wrong. End up walking around with a permanent necklace. Agonizing reminder how fucking pitiful they are. Come on, let's talk. If you're still bummed, I'll put one right between your eyes. Give it a shot.
Poopy.
Is it really your birthday?
The suicide blonde tells me she was a good person once. But now...
I'm a bad person. I don't want to make you bad.
Oh, my
It does
God,
that a couple times in the movie. Where he's just like, he said he was mad. I'm mad. Just like, Thank you for filling us in.
All right. Well, I mean, you obviously heard what's so bad about that, but don't give me this befriended me crap.
Yeah.
Don't make a move or I'll jump. He immediately walks forward. I guess he's calling her bluff, but she does it anyway, so she could have done it right then. And then I just felt like Fingerling is supposed to be such a fucking badass, and Jim Carrey just can't do that.
Yeah.
He just can't. No. I'm sorry. No. I don't know. Tell me if you've seen him in some like movie where he's like a UFC fighter or something, but I've never seen him ever be a true
Me,
badass.
Myself, and Irene, his Hank alter ego, was kind of that badass.
That's good, Rob.
Which is probably worst movie fodder, but I love that movie.
That movie is really funny.
Yeah. You ever see
I don't know if
Myself
it's
and
just
Irene, Bob?
generational.
No, I've never seen it.
You
so
should.
Basically, he plays a mild-mannered police officer who actually has like, what was it? Advanced delusional schizophrenia with involuntary narcissistic rage.
Because he has his wife leaves him, and he has always been walked on. As a police officer, everybody just takes advantage of him, you know. So when his wife leaves him, then I think it's when his like neighbor takes his newspaper. I don't remember when the moment is that he snaps, but he snaps and then he like goes completely psychotic. And he's like essentially schizophrenic. Yeah, he's schizophrenic, but he only has two personalities. It's him who I don't remember his name. Charlie.
Renee, him and Renee Zellweger.
Charlie, he's got his Charlie personality where he's like super friendly and gets walked on, and then he's got Hank where he's like like a fucking psychopath where he does like crazy shit to people, and it's pretty funny. Anyway, we're gonna throw it to Bob now with test number 5, the worst production. Take it away, Bob.
Do you,
Bob's?
Oh my God!
When a studio puts out a production this bad, they're dead meat.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Worst production this week, I tagged as really bad editing.
Yes.
So a suspenseful psychological thriller, which is what I'm going to say this is, not a horror movie.
It is psychological thriller,
Yeah. It needs good music, it needs excellent writing, and it needs stellar editing. And the suspense and thrills kind of cease to exist without the melding of those things. Like the transitions, like the crossfades, the flash to whites, the jump cuts, all of them were sloppy and amateur. Something I'd expect from like a student film or like an experimental film. So that being said, if this were a student film or something I saw at like a local film festival, I might applaud it as a valiant effort. But a Jim Carrey and Joel Schumacher movie is unacceptable and trite.
That's the same issue I had, Bob. Like it had big names attached to it. That should know. Better.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't have much to add. I think that's perfectly said.
Yeah. Good job, Bob.
No, seriously, that is spot on. Okay, so let's throw it to test number 6, the worst acting.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's advanced delusionary schizophrenia with involuntary narcissistic rage.
You were very close. I thought you nailed it.
You were really close. I think you had it actually.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie in so long, but I'm gonna watch it this weekend. I think it's so fucking good.
It is fucking good.
Acting.
Do you even know how to act?
How can you act like that?
Shut up!
It's the worst acting.
All right, let's throw it to number
1.
This is Fingerling.
Chapter 1. You can call me Fingerling. It's not my real name. It came from a book I read as a child. Fingerling at the Zoo. Paper flap long gone. It had a green hardback cover and mottled texture. It was possibly my very first book. Funny, I can't recall what it was about. The only thing I remember is the name. Fingerling. I wished it was mine. And now it is.
I feel like while Walter was reading this book, he was fingerling himself the entire time.
I feel like while he was reading it, he turned into Zoolander. for some
I know.
reason.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
can call me fingerling.
is that Walter's interpretation of what fingerling sounds like?
He's going,
or is
for
that what
hard,
fingerling sounds like?
He's going for that hard boiled like private dick, like noir.
Yeah,
like yeah,
but really badly.
And he's failing. Yeah, he's failing
Yeah.
miserably.
It's so weird. Anyway, let's throw it to number 2. This is Woman in Red.
Everywhere. Dates, times, license plate numbers, pages of books, even elevator floor lights. Soon I found it was in my name. It was in the words I spoke. Nothing is safe. Pink is my favorite color. Do you know what pink is? Red, 27, white, 65. 65 is 27, 92. Pink has 4 letters. 92 divided by 4. 23!
I'll be honest. I didn't get it. I asked her the only question I could muster. Any more coffee? It was important to keep her talking, so I tell her a story. I had this uncle. His name was Charlie. And one day he read in his stars that he was going to fall in love with a woman in red. So he went out looking all day long, and he found one. 6 months later, they were married.
You're lying.
She's upset about finding the number 23 and everything. One of the things that she lists off is pages of books.
Yeah.
Like like page 23 and page 123 and page 223.
Yeah.
Oh my God, miraculous. The best part to me, though, is when he says it was important to keep her talking, so I told her a story. All right, number 3. This is what does it mean?
Should be dead.
Walter! No!
Stop! Who are you?
The number. What does it mean?
I think you know.
Oh my God, get an ambulance! Get an ambulance!
Don't you die on me. You hear me? Don't you die.
Walter, please.
He's the only person who can help us get back to normal.
Honey, you're not helping, okay? Now I want you to take Robin and go home. This man needs a hospital. I'll take care of it.
But no, son.
Take Robin and go home. I said, I'll take care of it.
Okay, why does she take care of it? Bob?
Because obviously he's unhinged and not thinking straight, and the son's a kid, and she needs the unhinged man to take care of the child.
Airtight logic. Makes perfect sense. You are not in any condition to drive. Now drive our son home.
I just thought of that. That's hilarious.
Dad, it's an hour drive home. Why is it taking us 4 hours? I can't go over 23. The best part though is when Jim Carrey, and I'm sorry, Jim Carrey's not a bad actor. He really isn't. But when he's like, "Don't you die on me," he like adds all that like vocal vibrato that you give it when you're like trembling, and so he doesn't know this guy. It's like, "Don't you die on me, man."
Until
it's our
30
only way
seconds-
to get back to normal.
30 seconds before that, he thought he was like the primary antagonist. And now he's just now
exactly.
he's sad that he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last one. I'm sad to see these clips go this week. I don't know why, but this is number 4. beautiful 23s.
Before you kill me? Walter. This is who you were. This is not who you are. This is not who you are.
I'm a killer. I have killed someone.
That's what a killer is.
You think you could do it again? You think you're a killer? Here, and take this. You go ahead and do it. If you're a killer, then kill me. Look around at all the beautiful 23s. You don't want to disappoint them, do you? Do it!
Why?
No. Don't you say that.
I love you.
No, you can't! No one can.
Is he's supposed to be like a long tortured soul at this point?
Yeah.
When he has forgotten his horrible history, just recently reminded.
Yeah.
Why do this happens in movies? It's not at all realistic. Why do people say, you think you're a killer? Go ahead and kill me. And then not only do they ask the question that's like super risky that I would never ask, like, could you kill me? You think you can kill me? Go ahead and pull the trigger.
Hand him the weapon.
See if you have it in you to shoot me for literally no reason. They continue in this movie to antagonize him. She is like, you don't want to disappoint your beautiful 23s. Go ahead and kill me. It's like, why do you want, like, she wants to die?
Director's
At that point,
oh yeah, slash. So,
Yeah.
honestly, I never understand that. But beautiful 23s was funny, and then when he's like, you can't love me. No one can. It was a little wise-o.
Yeah.
It really was. And he's like, I can't kill you. Do you even know the meaning of life? Anyway, let's throw it to Bob again for fact or no fact.
Oh god, this is gonna be a good one.
Bob's gonna give you a
Rob, you ever thought about?
in fact or no fact.
All right.
All right, this is very similar to last week's. So the fact or no fact segment is me reading out 5 things, and one of them is a lie. And the game is to see if either of the other co-hosts could find the lie. So last week it was about Godzilla. This week, the number 23 is like the thing, right? And it's connected, sometimes very tenuously.
Yes.
with the characters in the movie itself, the whatever.
Yeah.
So these are other instances of the number 23 that were connected with the movie. Some of them in the movie, some of them surrounding the movie, and you have to tell me if they were real or a lie.
Right.
Here we go. The dog in the movie is named Ned, and the letters of Ned, based on the position of the alphabet, add to 23. Okay, when Fingerling is standing in front of a storefront while watching Fabrizia and Phoenix, the storefront numbers add to 23.
Like the address?
Yes. Okay, the film was released in the United States on February 23rd, 2007. Not that I'm going to add that in. The P.O. box that Jim Carrey and his family were mailing the boxes to added up to 23. And lastly, Jim Carrey's birthday is 23 days before February 3rd. 2-3. Find the lie.
Days before February. So his birthday's in January. Okay, cool. Okay, so number 1, I think he actually adds up the dog's letters at some point in the third act and says that. So I'm going to have to say that's a fact. So I'm just going to make that bold. When Fingerling is standing in front of a storefront, the storefront numbers add to 23. I mean, there were storefront numbers. So I'm going to go out and I didn't freeze frame and count them, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if they were relatively intelligent as filmmakers, they would have done that. The film was released on February 23rd in the U.S. I believe that to be true because, all right, so when Sega came out with the Sega Dreamcast, which like bankrupted the company and made it so we didn't have Sega for like 20 years, they had development issues with the product, but they wanted to get it out on $99.99 so bad that they just like fucking pushed it to the shelves. And then there were a lot of recalls, and then they never recovered from that. Similarly, the number 23 would have done something stupid and gimmicky like that and also fail miserably. So that's the parallel I am seeing. That's what I'm going to believe in my heart. The P.O. box that the boxes were mailed to adds up to 23. I would say artistically they'd be stupid not to do that. So I'm going to say Jim Carrey's birthday is the lie. 23 days before February 3rd, which is also 2-3. That's everything else I could see being done for a logical reason. I don't know Jim Carrey's birthday. That's the
I don't either.
That's the needle in the haystack. I'm going to say number 5 is the lie.
Number 5. If I take number 3, then it's going to be number 2 because 5 minus 3 is 2, and 5 minus 2 is 3.
Fuck! Damn, he's good.
And no, I'm not. So dog named Ned adds to 23. That's just true. I just did the math while Rob was talking. The storefront number adds to 23. Okay, so that one I'm interested in. I think that might be the lie. Number 3, U.S. release of February 23rd. I know that because I have to look this movie up on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. I don't look up trivia facts or anything like that because I don't want Bob to call me out for cheating again, even though I never once cheated. Number 4, the P.O. Box being 23. I think that's true. Like Rob said, I think they would be dumb not to do that. If they're going to give us a number, it better add up to 23. I'll explain more on the storefront. And then Jim Carrey having a birthday 23 days before February 3rd was the other candidate that I thought was possibly the lie. But Rob took it already, so I think we have a great chance for a good team win here, Rob. But I'm going to go with number 2. The storefront number adds to 23, and here's why. The storefront that he's looking in, there is a set of knives, and I think the numbers. This is crazy, but I think that the cost of the knives was $32.19, and I make fun of it in my catch-all. 32 reversed is 23, and they already established 32 reversed so that they can make more stupid connections. But that doesn't explain the 19, so I'm going to go into it in greater depth in the catch-all, but also having some more information on the storefront. I don't remember seeing an address on the storefront. I think Bob just chose that part because of the steak knife scenario. So I think that he was like, you know what, the storefront number was going to be my catch-all. I'll just make it a fact, and that'll be my lie. So that I'm calling you out, Bob. Let's see if I'm right. If not, good team win. Go ahead, Bob.
Boy, Chris is giving me as much credit as he just gave the movie.
Shit. I hope you live up. I hope you live up to it, Bob.
And we
Chris
have
was right because
into the depths of Chris's psychosis as well.
He did do the math that I did not do, which was to make sure that Ned added up to 23, which it does. And yes, that's a fact. Ned does add up to 23.
Pretty easy, man.
The P.O. box that Jim Carrey and his family mail the boxes to is 977, which adds up to 23.
Right.
Chris, as you know, it was released on February 23rd.
One of us is right.
And yes, the storefront numbers they stood in front of were 23. I'm sorry, it was 12 and 11, which added to 23.
All right.
Jim Carrey's birthday. There was some kind of weird fact in the thing that Jim Carrey's birthday is 6 days before the 23rd of something. I'm like, how is that anything? 6 days? Like, who cares? Like, how is that important? So I'm like, I'll make it sound more important. And you guys found that. So good job.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Good job, team.
Team
win.
win. Sick. All right. Great job to us. Let's throw it to the catch-all.
Mm.
Oh my god!
It appears that we've caught everything.
Oh my god!
It's all over.
Oh my god!
Let's all go home.
Oh my god!
I'm just showing you how to catalog that. Rob, you got it right with that check mark right there.
Yeah. Team win.
All right, I'll start the catch-all because Lord knows I'm going to have 30 more than you guys because I'm insane.
Not 23 more?
Probably. I was just about to go there, but you beat me to it. All right, I'll start with A Novel Fate is not a good bookstore name.
Yeah.
That was the name of the store that they got it in. I mean, how many times in a book or in the literary world do you hear someone say, "Oh, what a novel fate"? Occasionally, on very rare occasions, have you heard someone say that's a novel fate? Like that's a death that I didn't see coming is like the name of the bookstore. Well, Jim Carrey doesn't die in the end, so it's not. There's just no good connection here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go more general. He's a dog catcher who owns a home and has a pretty wife and a son who seems to respect him. I ain't buying it.
It's straight up HGTV. I'm a dog catcher and she bakes muffins. Our budget is $3 million.
I think he's off the books. I think that they're hiring him illegally to dog catch. I think he gets paid by the state because of his mental disability.
Like he's got like a stipend.
He's got a double income coming in. Yeah.
That's fair.
Which is why the woman behind the desk thinks that she can take advantage of him because he's undocumented, so to speak.
Yeah. Undocumented dog catchers. 1 second, I gotta write it. Okay, cool. All right. I'm gonna go general as well. Just 2 years prior, Jim Carrey starred in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Is this to say what a sharp decline?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yes,
because that's a phenomenal movie.
It's a cool movie. I only saw it the once, and I don't want to watch it again. I'm
It's
just not
great.
into feeling really weird.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's one of those movies that it sticks with you for a while after you watch it because it's like, okay, there's lots of emotions to unpack, and they did it beautifully.
It's like Requiem for a Dream. I saw it the once.
Oh,
I don't need to see it again. It made
That's
an
a hard
impact on
watch.
me. I get it. I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah.
And Crash, which had an impact on me, and that is, it was a shit movie, and I don't want to watch it again.
Which one?
Crash with Don Cheadle and Matt Dillon and Sandra Bullock.
Oh, that movie sucks. I'm putting that in the next week.
Yeah, that movie sucks. But everybody, when it came out, everybody was like, "Oh my god, what a masterpiece!"
Yeah.
Then I watched it and I was like, "Why?" Masterpiece, as in like masterpiece barbecue chips by Lay's, because those are like all right, you know. His 15-year-old son gave him a Father of the Year mug.
Yeah.
Bob, when was the last time you got one of those from the school library? On buy your dad a gift for Father's Day.
Yeah, they don't have those anymore, but yeah, they would.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a fact or no fact thing that I didn't put in the quiz. So an associate producer, her name was Alyssa Ferguson, first read the screenplay and in like 2002 and was like, "It's the best script I've ever seen." And
okay.
And the guy that wrote the screenplay and her worked together trying to like bring this to the theaters. They spent so much time together, they actually developed a romantic relationship and they got married 3 years later. And 2 years before the film actually came out. Yes.
Have they been married for 23 years now?
Wait. No. Not yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna lead with one of my biggest problems with this movie. Guys, if you found a book that you became obsessed with that you felt was mirroring your own life in a multitude of ways.
Yeah.
Would it take you like a week and a half to read it, or would you just plow through it in one sitting?
It's like a 90-page book.
Yeah, it's like a novella.
Yeah, you took one of my catch-alls. I totally agree with you.
There was a book, and I mentioned in the What We're Watching segment, I think our first, that I was reading the second in a series. I've actually slowed on the Trouble with Peace, which is the second in the trilogy I'm in right now. A Little Hatred I rented and I took it out of the library, and I ended up really loving it when I finally gave it my attention late in the amount of time that I had left before I had to get it back to the library before I was spending 10 cents a day. So it was like a 400-page book, and I did it in like a week, just because I was reading it for, an hour a day for a week, 2 hours a day for a week. And that, was 4 times as long as this book.
Yeah.
So there's not a chance that Jim Carrey's character wouldn't have been through that in a day.
No.
If he was that obsessed with
hours.
it. Yeah.
Maybe hours.
Yeah, he'd be done the first day if he was that into it.
I mean, the guy has one child who's a teenager who wears sport coats to school, if you didn't notice that.
Yeah.
And like I don't think he's got a lot of like time outside of his dog catching hours. I think he'd be fine finishing the book in a couple hours.
And when we met him in the beginning, when he's like in his dog catching van, he's bored out of his fucking mind.
Exactly.
Waiting for a call, and he gets a call at 4:59 when he's supposed to be done at 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, good point. Whose turn is it? Mine?
Yep.
Yeah.
You chose Blood Red Walls when you have a formerly insane husband.
Yeah.
Bob's going to disagree.
That's operating under the fact that she doesn't know he was formerly insane, even though all signs point to the fact that she totally fucking knows.
No, she doesn't.
All right. Well, I give the floor to you then, Bob.
All right. What's funnier, Top Secrets or Fingerling?
I think from my immediate reaction standpoint, it's Fingerling. But really, the Top Secrets being not top secretly at all, like being so obvious, I don't know. Like there's a second layer to the funniness to me.
Yeah. One's a pun and one's a potato, so I don't really. That's where I draw the line. I'm not going to think critically about that one at all.
Man, well said, Rob.
All right. There is literally no significance to the saxophone whatsoever. At any given moment, he's just sitting there.
Have like the same catch-all, by the way.
But what's that song? It's a sax lead. It's not. I'm not Careless Whisper, but it's like do 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 Every heightened scene in that movie, I had that playing in my head while I was watching it, and it added.
Yeah. Okay, I know that song.
I can't think of the name.
I feel like the saxophone in that song stands alone from the rest of the song, though. Like I feel like the rest of the song is like a soft rock song, and then it's just like Bill Clinton in the background, and they just like
fucking wailing on that sax. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what song you're talking about, but I can't hear the chorus.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's Fingerling character, when with Fabricia, says he's talking about her proclivities, to steal a word from Cyrus the Virus.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, "Death and sex, what a turn on." And I feel like that summarizes the movie for me. It's like anyone who thinks that like the subheading of death and sex being the pulsing heart of this movie, and that's what makes it sexy and dark and edgy and interesting, provocative, is childish of mind, and that's the kind of audience that this movie appeals to. And even those who I think are childish adults are probably still too mature for this movie.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not sure if this was intentional or just lack of casting, but the psychologist, the dog catching psychologist, she was at the Christmas party when he was being backed up against the wall by the girl. And
She should
saying,
never
like,
be there.
Well, it was the dog catching place people, right?
Yeah, but you can't party with your clients.
You don't bring HR to your fucking office party because there's going to be a bunch of HR violations. And they don't want the paperwork.
But she was there, and I think it was meant to be. I noticed, so I feel like it was meant to be noticed. Like she noticed him saying, "I wouldn't do you if you were the last bitch on the earth," or whatever he said.
Yeah,
yeah,
which was uncalled for.
Yeah,
that's almost most offensive.
Yeah, honestly, it really was uncalled for. When a woman says it to a man in the movie, you expect that because, like, me being like, I don't know if I'm being sexist. I don't know which gender I'm being sexist towards, but a woman needs to be a little bit more forceful because a man's going to be like more aggressive. This is in my history. I have been around enough men who are hound dogs to know that if you don't make it very clear to men, they're not going to leave you alone.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rob, is this yours?
Yeah. At the PO box, the guy who slits his own throat, who they thought was top secrets.
Yeah.
He clearly wanted to convey information to Agatha upon being discovered. So why did he slit his throat first?
Why did he slit his throat at all? Like,
I have no idea.
Understand it.
No,
like,
there is no reason.
Wait. I gotta tell you one really, really, really important thing now that I'm just gurgling blood out of my throat hole. And an inch away
That's
from
a good
death.
point. That's a good point, Rob. The cash register had 2305 on it. So 2 plus 5 plus 0 plus 2 equals 10. And then 23 plus 0 plus 5 equals 28. 2 plus 3 equals 5. 5 minus 2 is 23. I don't know. Who cares?
Okay. Yeah. Not good.
The when the psychologist asked him what color the wall was, he said red, blood red.
Blood red.
But it was a transition. Like they said that after they transitioned to him facing the wall. So I couldn't tell if he was saying it again, and that it was just a sloppy transition. It was all back to my bad editing.
Yeah,
I wanted to point that out specifically.
Speaking of continuity, Bob, when he has his final encounter with Ned, nowhere near his dog catching truck, he's been off work for a few days. He's suddenly just like running full tilt down the street with his tranquilizer gun. Like, where the fuck did he get the gun from? Was he?
True.
He wasn't. There was no foreshadowing. He wasn't carrying it with him. Like, oh, I'll bring this just in case. He just suddenly has it and materializes out of nowhere. So just wanted to point that out real quickly.
Fair. 23 is good at paranoia.
Yeah.
That's the question. I'll leave it open ended. Go ahead, Bob.
There was one point when he thought Agatha was killed, and he was like, "It's nightmares, nightmares, nightmare." You never think you're in a nightmare when you're in a nightmare. Like, you just don't.
No,
I never.
You never do. No. Never ever.
Yeah, you just wake up and go, ah! And then you just like shake it off and go back to sleep.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. You eat a hot dog first.
Yes, exactly. I think this has to do with the rate. It's a PG-13 film, right? It wasn't rated R. Was it PG-13?
I don't think it was. I didn't see a single tit in my scope.
That's my point. Is there was lots of weird booby grabbing and like fully clothed sex.
Yeah.
Like going at it like in the woods or like in the park. Like you're telling me that he was wearing his jeans buttoned around his waist with his ding dong just like out of the zipper, and they were grinding that passionately without blood being fucking everywhere. No, I didn't believe it. Felt like it was phoned in.
Maybe there was no woman. He was just like fucking the worms.
That would shred you up, dude. Against the zipper teeth, like
oh yeah,
like that.
Yeah, forget it.
Made me squirm. Anywho, that's all. That was my point I wanted to make.
Makes the worm squirm. You know what I mean?
Makes the worm squirm. Yep. Yes.
The knives cost, and I said I would come back to this, but the knives cost $32.19. What kind of price is that? Number one, 32 plus 19 is 51. 32 is 23 reverse, but then you still have 19. So 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9 is 14, and 3 plus 2 plus 19 is 24. So it just doesn't even work.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Speaking of zippers,
yeah.
Apparently, Jim Carrey's behavior during filming was bizarre and upsetting to others.
He's a method actor.
So apparently, at one point, he unzipped his fly and urinated as part of some improvisation, and everyone was horrified.
Huh.
But I'm not sure what part of the film that was. I'm not sure if that was like during rehearsal, whatever. But that was
probably when he was in the hotel room. Probably when he was in the hotel room. He just like pissed on the set on the wall or something, and thought they might keep it.
Speaking of the hotel room, when I first moved down to Nashville from Connecticut, my first job was at a Marriott. You cannot pay for a room with cash. You just can't.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to. It's a whole child trafficking thing. That's the first tell. If you are buying a room cash, it means you don't want a paper trail, which means you're probably flying to Epstein's Island at some point, or passing through Atlanta. You just don't do it. It took me out of the movie.
That's totally fair. The clock turns to 11:12 when he rolls over, but it was 11:11 before that.
Yeah.
So, like when he rolls over, it's 11:11.
Yeah.
Why would the clock decided to turn to 11:12 so that he would have
11 plus 12 is 23.
Yeah, but 11 plus 11 is 22, and that's what he originally saw when he rolled over.
Yeah. Well, because you're blurry when you wake up, and then you rub your eyes, and like you need a second, and then it's like, oh, gotcha.
Like he saw it turn, so he knew it was 11:11. So he had to at least split the shock half between 22 and 23, which dilutes the 23 in my mind.
Yeah.
This one anyway.
But who cares?
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, I got a trope. Candles burning in an empty building. Trope.
Nice.
Yes.
That's a nice trope.
She goes into the psychologist's like asylum.
Yeah.
And it's abandoned, but there's candles burning.
Yeah, somebody was just there.
Even if he was just there before the P.O. box, that was hours later. Those candles would be done.
For sure. Maybe it was just like someone there to do a seance because it was a creepy building.
Yeah. A bunch of mall goths.
Or 23 seances.
Yeah.
Back on the motel hotel. If you are a proprietor of a place where people pay money, stay the night, and there is a murder, suicide, or a suicide in the room after somebody clearly went psychotic and scribbled all over the walls.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you put a fresh coat of paint over that instead of just like slap some wallpaper over it?
Yeah. I
Nothing
think you
sinister
would.
happened here. Let's just, yeah.
Let's go blood red.
Yeah.
The cops didn't find Fingerling in the closet at the murder scene.
Yeah.
Just saying in the book,
Sorry,
when
this
he
is
murders,
exhausting.
when he murders his Fabricia or whatever, he hides in the closet, and then the therapist comes in and holds the knife and stuff. The cops would search every square inch of the room. He's just in the closet, and he's not found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm way further than Chris is in the movie, as usual.
Not typical.
Near the end, when Jim Carrey is in prison, wouldn't the wife just move on with the professor guy? Her friend? There's no question.
Yeah.
Like they were close in the first place.
The therapist was definitely trying.
Yeah. He was like the Phil Hartman in Jingle All the Way to Jim Carrey and
exactly.
Number 20.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was
Eating her cookies.
Yeah. And then you asked me how to polish your back porch. And I said, all you need is a little turpentine. And maybe we can get a couple of turkey sandwiches while we're at it. That was the moment I knew. Anyway. Rob?
Okay, so if we follow Bob's logic that she didn't know any of this going ahead of time.
Call him out.
She is still she's complicit with going like, let's just forget about it and live our lives like nothing happened. If we go with Chris and my logic, she's known that another innocent man has been rotting in jail for 15 years or 13 years, and she's also complicit.
She is either way because she moves the skeleton.
Yeah,
she's okay with the innocent man.
Innocent dude, just like who did nothing wrong, never being able to see his family again. Like he told a heartbreaking story. Like my dad couldn't look me in the eye. My mother, like my
sister killed herself.
Broke down in tears. Yeah, like she's okay with that. No matter either way, whether we're with our logic or Bob's logic, she's a horrible fucking person.
She is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Every 23rd word on every 23rd page, but he has one page with multiple words circled. So does that mean that I just didn't understand. I counted, and it was every 23 words on the page. So that means every 23 pages, it's every 23 words. How did he think of that? Because he wrote the book? So, like, it just came back to him that he left a secret message for himself to find when he becomes psychotic again. Because you know what I mean.
Real quickly, Chris, too. I'm being very, very liberal here. Let's assume the book is only 120 pages, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying every 23rd word on any 23rd. That's 5.21 words. What message could he have told himself?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that like on each page has a fuck ton of words. Then, it says anyway to continue. Visit Casanova's park. Dig beneath the steps to heaven. I warn you, hell is waiting, Sparrow Man. Says he to himself. What about the other pages? Because we do get one page where every 23 words, that's the message, which means that there's a fuck ton of words on that one page.
That's true.
But what about the other pages? Like, one's a recipe for the perfect meatloaf? Like,
yeah. It's a recipe for fingerlings.
Anyway, go ahead, Bob.
That's my last one. I don't like the fact that there's, like, justice. It's boring. I don't like clear and definitive endings to psychological thrillers.
Yeah.
Though they tried to make it ambiguous, they didn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
This will be my last one too. Based on the pacing and the subject matter, this if they wrote this as like a black comedy, this movie would have fucking ruled.
Yeah, sure.
I think it'd just be funny, like the numerology aspect and just like Jim Carrey being a little more in his element. I know he has dramatic chops, but like this would have been a really funny, just like dark comedy, and I think they missed an opportunity there.
Yeah,
I agree. Here's one of those opportunities. Walter is the suicide blonde.
Yes.
Because later we see him jump out of the building and land just like he did as the suicide blonde in the book he read or wrote Fingerling. So he rewrote himself as a character, the sexy blonde who's hot, who commits suicide.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird. Bob, so you're out?
Yeah, I'm out too. Just
all right. My last one. I skipped a few.
Yeah.
The bus had all day to stop. The bus at the end is like Austin Powers when the steamrollers coming at him. He's like, no, and he's just screaming like for 4 minutes. That bus had all day to get around him or stop. All right, that's what I have.
Say what you want about the Austin Powers franchise, but that scene's fucking like
that scene is so funny.
That establishing shot where like it shows like you think he's in imminent danger, and like, the steamrollers just terribly wrong.
They kind of stole it though from a fish.
A
little bit.
I don't know
different.
if
Yeah.
you've seen that movie, which is fucking great. I love
Is that
that.
Jamie Lee
movie.
Curtis?
Yeah, John
Yes.
Cleese and
Yeah.
Kevin Kline,
Yeah.
and then another guy from Monty Python. I never remember his name.
Michael Palin.
Michael Palin. Thank you. That is his
Yeah.
name. All right, let's throw it to what we're watching.
Sure.
I got a letter for you.
A letter?
Yeah, it's a letter that talks about all the things we're watching now.
Give me the letter. Give me the damn letter now. Give me the letter.
You can have
Give me
it.
the letter
Get it,
now.
Get it. Grab it. Take it.
Give me the letter
Try again.
now.
Father.
Want to go in the same order? You, Chris, Bob, Rob.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I have two. I'm just gonna spit them out quick. If you haven't seen JCS Criminal Psychology on YouTube, definitely check it out if you're into it. Yeah, dude, this guy is fucking great. He breaks down police interrogation video, and he is a former detective himself. You can just tell by the way he breaks it down. You can tell he knows
Yeah.
what he's talking about. It's super interesting. If you haven't seen it, check that out. Did I talk about the founder already? The McDonald's
With
movie?
Michael Keaton? No,
Yeah.
but I've been meaning to watch that. So
Okay.
go on.
It's a Netflix movie. Michael Keaton plays Ray Kroc, who is not the founder of McDonald's, but is the founder of McDonald's. The McDonald's brothers started a McDonald's hamburger shack somewhere in like fucking Indiana, and Ray Kroc finds out about it. He goes down there, and then he becomes a third partner because he's like, I can expand you guys. Like, I'm hungry. Let me like work for you. And then he ends up like taking over the entire business and blowing up McDonald's to something that they don't even want. It becomes a fucking, something that violates all the principles they meant to set forth in the first place. And Michael Keaton does a great job playing Ray Kroc. That movie is actually really fucking good. So check it out. It's a Netflix original, I think.
He's really good at playing likable scumbags.
He's a very likable scumbag in that movie.
Yeah.
You almost root for him, even though he's doing terrible things to good business people.
Yep. All right, I'm going to go with because Chris mentioned two things and one very quickly. I'm going to do the same thing. Adult Swim, a series from about 8 years ago. Black Jesus, absolutely hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I don't know.
It's so fucking good. Okay, but anyway, in terms of movies, I'm trying to catch up on Oscar buzz-worthy movies, and there's a movie called The Holdovers with Paul Giamatti. And
I saw the preview for that.
It's very safe. It's very likable. I liked it. It was good. It was a good movie. It was a safe movie in terms of like family friendliness. It had some language, a little bit of suggestive nature, but for the most part, like your wives would love it. Let's just say that. Like it's
Nice.
just like.
Okay. Why is Paul Giamatti like showing off his abs?
No, but best picture, no. Best actor, no. Best supporting actor, actress, no. But it's still good. And if it wins any of those things, I have no faith in the Academy.
Fair.
I feel like we should do a live stream for the Academy Awards. That'd be fun.
When
At
is
least
it?
for the
Is it
major
like-
categories.
What's it like middle of the month?
I don't even know.
All right. Let's look it up and we'll talk through it. We'll see what
It's
happens.
fun. Yeah, we'll just bullshit, and then when the important like decisions are coming up, we'll shut up and we'll watch because Steven Seagal wants to get to the Oscars.
All right. So I've shared this with you guys before. The singer of Electric Six, Dick Valentine, which is the alter ego of a man named Tyler Spencer.
Okay.
Between Electric Six and like the dozens of solo albums he puts out every year, he writes erotic detective thrillers that are really funny. I've purchased all of the audiobooks, which are read by him. I'm revisiting it because we watched number 23 and he's got like he had like the whole private dick thing with Nax
Where he measures his penis, he can't help himself.
Yeah, he compulsively measures his penis and like he has like a private detective practice. But I have 7 of the audiobooks. I just finished the first one, which is Chinatown Reach Around. Up next on the docket is Fairfax Facial, Glendale Glory Hole, Sin City 69, Maida Val Muff Dive, The Velvet Waterfall, and the final one that he has, even though he's reported to have been working on more, Durango Dirty Sanchez. So
Wow.
I've been working through these. They are pulp noir novellas, but they're erotic and they're fucking weird and they're really funny and they're read in his voice, which makes it even funnier. Just like I knew then and there I'd never have the urge to measure my dick again. Then everything faded to black. So that's what I've been consumed with since number 23 came on the docket. So that's really all I've been watching. I haven't watched anything else aside from like the usual Mountain Monsters and
of course
the Simpsons reruns. So
but who's not watching Mountain Monsters? That's real
so fucking good, dude.
All right, so let's throw it to back credit names.
Sure. Where'd they go? Bad names. There we go.
Jeff, this is my friend John.
Oh, Jeff, I heard a lot of good things about you.
Where'd you find this son of a bitch?
He's a friend of mine from school.
A friend?
Jeff, Don.
Oh, Jeff.
Don. Jeff, how can you act
Jeff.
like
Oh,
that? Jeff.
Shut up!
Jeff, Don. Don.
Back credit names. All right, I only have two. There were no credits. Walter Sue Who.
Yeah.
Which reminded me of Lindy. What is it? Cindy Lou Who.
Yeah.
And it happened to be Walter, which is the main character's name. Anyway, and then Karamu Kush.
Karamu Kush.
That's it. That's all I've got. Let's throw it to the offensive minigame.
Yeah.
If you can say,
My mother was Korean,
and also,
and my father was Black American.
you may be part of our offensive minigame.
Right.
Patting perfumed puppies or counting kicks, as in shoes.
Puppies.
Okay. Sneaking subtle Drusilla sniffs or sneaking skeletons.
Skeletons.
I
guess they're both forms of impropriety, but I'd say grave robbing's a little higher on the list.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Burn the book, bitch, or regrettable recast money grab.
Money grab.
Yeah. Money grab.
Okay, so Christmas Story 2 wins the offensive minigame. Let's throw it to the movie comparisons to see what else it beats the number 20.
Oh my God! It's time to compare the movies. Something we haven't done since.
Oh my God!
1962.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah.
Okay, Christmas Story 2 and the number 23. Negative 70.4 and the worst against a negative 56.4 and the worst. The number 23 really tried, but it fails anyway. Bob, you had a miraculous 5-star pitch, but you are defeated by Rob's number 23 star pitch. And so the number 23 takes this one. Offensive, we just established petting puppies and regrettable recast. Worse than whatever you can muster as sneaking skeletons with the number 23. So it's 2-1, headed to dialogue. What do you think was worse? Dialogue of Christmas Story 2?
Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Face palm slapstick or really bad editing?
Slapstick.
I'm going with editing.
Want to break the tie, Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to go slapstick. Acting, what do you think?
23.
I'm going Christmas Story as well. All right, that is
those flashbacks to the story acting were so bad in 23.
I agree.
Daniel Stern. No further comment.
Ralphie. All right, I'm going to skip the demerits because I have to piss so bad, and it doesn't matter anyway. So a 5-1 victory, Christmas Story 2. That is the worst of the season still. Number 23 was really bad. But if you add up Christmas Story and you add the number 2, you get one really horrible movie, worse than the number 23. Next week, I'm going to do a live look-in because we just threw a quick poll earlier. We're going to see. Take a quickie.
Your choice was winning by a fucking landslide, Chris.
Oh,
I
was
forget
it?
What it's called though, because it sounds really.
I don't even remember. I just did it like 2 hours ago. Let me look. I think it was Cutthroat Island.
Yeah, something like.
Never heard of it, but it looked really awful. Yeah. Okay, so we're doing Cutthroat Island.
By a landslide, right?
Gina
It was like
Davis.
60%. Yeah.
Yeah, 10
Oh,
votes
can't
to
wait.
The Devil Inside, 7 votes to Dave's of Thunder. Apparently, we have a lot of Cruise fans out there. Only had a couple.
Yeah.
We just threw this up a couple hours ago. So the fact that we got 20 votes is actually kind of impressive for a couple of hours. But
yeah.
Anyway, we are doing Cutthroat Island.
Cool.
Thank you guys so much for
Can't
listening,
wait to
for
watch
watching.
it.
I know, seriously. Apparently, it's really, really, really awful and a giant blockbuster fail. They spent like 130 million on it and made like 30 million in the box office, so they lost like $100 million on it or something.
Oh, wow.
Something like that.
Cool.
Anyway, it's Gina Davis lead, and I hate the way she looks, so I'm definitely going to make fun of that.
Okay.
So, Rob, why don't you plug us, and Bob, give us the last word when he's done. Love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, you can hear us at www.theworstmovieevermade.com. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple. You can find us on Google Play. You can find us on all the podcast apps if you just search the name The Worst Movie Ever Made. You can also find us on YouTube, where we post the video version of the episode every Sunday following the audio episode. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok. And you can email us. On the social medias, we have polls like we just talked about. And Bob uploads a trailer that is representative of the silliness we are going to get in every week ahead of the episode. www.theworstmovieevermade.com. Slap your grandma. Bob?
Jack Rabbit slapped the bear.
I can't help but think of saxophone.
Saxophone.
All right.
All right. Love you guys.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
See you guys next
Throw it to that
week.
sweet, sweet thing.
Hooray.
Bye, Jelly School.